A question from Chris. Hi, Greg. It's actually Gregory, Chris. Um, in regards with dealing with your traumatic past, was it difficult in recalling what happened to deal with it? A lot of trauma victims have a mental block so they can carry on their lives and function. Was a professional involved with your healing? One of the things that haunted me for a very long time was my past, and that in itself was traumatic. Sometimes the only way, and I speak for myself here, the only way that I could deal with anything was to actually face it. Running from it was very painful, and I got very tired. Trying to hide from it, I found that in my mind I was living in the shadows. And so, I was always peering out from the darkness of those shadows. So if I wanted to live in the light of the day, I needed to face up to my past. It was scary. It hurt a lot. There are still things that I have no recollection over. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because today I can function. Today I have a functioning life. Today it's not a perfect life. I'm still human. I still have the little challenges, sometimes big challenges that people have. But I'm aware of the things that used to haunt me. It was a long process. For me, the key to working through it was to firstly identify them. So just simply one at a time, what am I afraid of today? What's my trauma today? What's haunting me today? And that may be something to the effect of, my father continually belting me, hiding every day in my room, knowing that there was going to be an explosion of violence when my father got home. I had no control over that. And I would end up in the middle of it. I would end up hurt. Understanding that I didn't create that. It wasn't my fault. That's a really important thing to understand, and it helps in that process of identifying and working through it, understanding it. A term I don't like there is dealing with it. Okay, how do you deal with anything? So it's about identifying it, seeing how it's relevant to me. What's my part in that? How much control or power did I have in that? What contributions did I make? Okay, understanding that was really important for me to work through these things. As I worked through each one, to an extent, the method got easier. The emotional pain never really got easier until after I'd owned it and managed it and learned how to live with it. Those traumas become memories. And I've spoken before about being the victim or having been the victim. And today, I'm no longer the victim. The victim lives in pain. Once I'm out of being the victim, that pain it tends to decrease over time. It never fully goes away. It's always there a little bit, and that's okay. We learn to live with it, and we learn to live with it to the extent that we want to be okay in our life, and we want the people around us to be okay in our life. So the other part of that was, did I have psychological help? I've actually spoken about that before. I did go and see a psychologist because I was forced to. I was forced to because I wanted to do some research on a vulnerable population. And when I applied, when you're doing social research, you have to have ethics approval. And a part of the ethics process was that I go and have psychology for my past, just in case there was vicarious trauma that came up while I was working with these vulnerable people. What happened then was that I struck up a really good friendship with my psychologist, and we shared lots of stories. She was a German heritage, and she had lots of good stories to tell as well. So it was a two-way connection, and we both benefited from that relationship, that psychology-patient relationship. Today we're good friends. But I would say that seeing a psychologist wasn't my first thought. I think I had done a lot of work on myself before I was actually requested to go and see a psychologist. And I think the psychology put some finishing touches. It gave me a little bit of a deeper understanding of what was going on and where I was at the time. And it never hurts to have an extra person to talk to. And I mean, good counsel is good counsel.